Welcome to Dark Psychology World Channel. What we bring is the 38 letters from J.D. Rockefeller to his son, perspectives, ideology, and wisdom. Letter 34, How to Win in Competition. Dear John, on my way to play golf today, I encountered a long-lost challenge. A young man drives his sleek Chevrolet, arrogantly surpassing my car. He stimulated the competitive nature of this old man in me. As a result, he can only look at my car, but this makes me happy. Just like I beat my opponent in the mall. John, victory is my undying nature. So I said, those who accuse me of never-ending greed are wrong. Actually, I don't like money. What I like is making money. What I like is the beautiful feeling of the moment of victory. Of course, it feels like letting others lose. Sometimes it touches my compassion. But doing business is a tough competition. There's nothing more ruthless than trying to force someone out. But you can only find ways to defeat your opponent. Otherwise, you will be forced out. You are the one who accepts your tragic fate. This is the case wherever there is competition. Frankly speaking, I don't like competition, but I compete hard. Whenever you encounter a strong opponent, the competitive nature in me will burn. And when he goes out, what I gain is victory and happiness. Mr. Potts gave me this pleasure. And very huge. The war with Mr. Potts was the result of a mistake on my part. A well-intentioned mistake. In the 1970s, oil is concentrated in the northwest of Binjo, a small place. If an oil pipeline network is built there, connect all oil wells. I just need a valve. Can control the production volume of the entire oil area to completely dominate this industry. But I'm responsible. Hard with pipes. Long-distance transport will cause the uneasiness and fear of the railway companies I work with. So to protect their interests, I never initiated plans to lay an oil pipeline. What's more, they all helped me. But that one used to play tricks on me. Binjo Railway Company compromised with me again. At this time, he was ambitious. They're trying to replace me, to bring the oil refining industry completely under their control. They took the two largest oil pipelines in the oil region, incorporated into its own railway network. Want to use this to strangle us by the throat. And those who are tasked with completing this mission. It is a subsidiary of Binjo Railway. Mr. Potts, president of the Imperial Transportation Company. Follow the opponent's development. Even if the strength of potential opponents increases, they are all weakening their own strength. It may even subvert one's own status. I'm not that stupid. My belief is to achieve my goal before others do. I quickly activated the smart and capable Mr. Aodai. American Transportation Company launched a self-defense counterattack with Imperial Corporation. Our efforts have been duly rewarded. Less than a year, we control 40% of the oil transportation business in the oil region. Suppressed Mr. Potts' attack. But this is just the beginning of my rivalry with Mr. Potts. In this world, a person who can stand out. All those people who know how to find their ideal environment. If they can't do it, will create it yourself. 2 years later, a new oil field was discovered in Bradford, Binjo. Mr. O'Day quickly led his men. Go to the place that inspires millions of people to dream of getting rich. Running oil pipelines to new oil wells day and night. But those guys in the oil fields are all crazy. No restraint. I wish I could drain all the oil overnight. Then he held the banknotes with joy on his face. Leave, so no matter how hard Aodai and the others try, neither can meet the needs of transporting and storing oil. I don't want to see the hard-working oil producers dig one's own grave. Destroy yourself. I asked Aodai to warn the oil producers. Their mining capabilities already far exceeded our transportation capacity. They must reduce production. Otherwise, the black gold they mined will become worthless black soil. I have no one to accept our good intentions and advice. No one appreciates our efforts. Instead, they denounce us. How dare they not transport their oil away? Oil producers in Bradford are emotional. When reaching the peak, Mr. Potts took action. He first worked in New York, our refining base. Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, demonstrate to me. Acquisition of our competitor's refinery. Then began to grab land in Bradford. Laying oil pipeline. Bradford crude oil. Shipped to own refinery. I admire Mr. Potts' courage. More willing to accept. He wants to shake up my dominance in the refining industry. The challenge. But I have to get him out of the refining business. I first paid a visit to the big boss of Benjo Railway Company, Mr. Scott. I told him bluntly, Mr. Potts is a poacher. He's invading our territory. We have to make him stop. But Scott is very stubborn, determined to let Potts's rapes continue. I do not have any choice. I can only challenge this powerful enemy. First, we terminated all business dealings with Bingtai. I just deploy. Transfer the transportation business to the ever steadfast. Support our two major railway companies. And ask them to reduce shipping costs. Compete with ice iron. Weaken his power. Simultaneous command. Closure of companies that rely on Imperial Corporation transportation. All in Pittsburgh. The refinery then. Instruct. All parties in competition with the Imperial Corporation. Refinery. Sell refined oil products at prices far lower than those of the other party. Ice Rail is the largest transportation company in the United States. Mr. Scott is a transportation magnate. They had never been conquered before and were proud of it. But under my three-dimensional oppressive blow, they only surrender to fight against me. They go out of their way to give our competitors huge discounts. In other words, they serve others, have to pay someone else. Then, they resorted to an unpopular move to lay off employees. Cut wages. Scott and Potts didn't expect. This quickly led to punishment. Angry workers vent their dissatisfaction. A big fire. They burned hundreds of oil tankers and more than 100 locomotives. Forced. They had to turn to Wall Street bankers for emergency loans. Result. Not only did Bingtia's shareholders not receive any dividends, and the stock price plummeted. The result of their duel with me. It's just that their pockets are getting cleaner and cleaner. Mr. Potts is indeed a soldier. In the smoke of life and death. Spell out the rank of colonel. Have admirable indomitable willpower. So, when the winner has been decided, he still wants to continue fighting with me. Mr. Scott, who also had a military career. Although he was the most dominant before, the most authoritarian and powerful figure. But he knows better about teaching practices. He decisively lowered his arrogant head. Send someone to tell me. Very much hope that John, you will stop the oil refining business. I know. Colonel Potts wants to prove he is the great Moses. It's a pity that he failed. He failed completely. After a few years, Potts gave up his desire to fight me. This shrewd and smooth oil dealer became an active and diligent director of a company under me. Arrogance is often the downfall of people. Scott and Potts thought they were of noble birth. Always arrogant. So successfully tamed these arrogant and stubborn donkeys. My heart is dancing. John, I like winning. But I don't like to pursue victory at any cost. Victory at any cost is not victory. Ugly competition methods are disgusting. That is tantamount to drawing a wall into a prison. It may never be surpassed in the future, even if you win a victory. You may also lose the chance to win again in the future. And follow the rules. It does not mean that we must lower our determination to pursue victory. It means to use ethical method to win a clear victory. It also means that under this restriction, pursue victory with all your strength, fairness, and ruthlessness. I hope you can do this. Love you, Father. Thanks for listening to Dark Psychology World Channel. We will continue to bring you in the next issue. 38 letters from J.D. Rockefeller to his son.